Part two of what do I do now? See, in the first part, I was explaining to you what's your needs and how do you get a hold of your income. Well, building on that, I want to continue the conversation with, hey, I got my needs under control. Maybe I need to move. Maybe I need to downsize apartment, downsize car. Those are all options. Whether you want to believe it or not, because the used car market, it still has a little bit of desperation. While there's been a decrease in some values, you can still make some headway with the car you have and change out your situation to free up your cash. All of this is to give you income back in the month so that you can what? Now save and invest. The fact is, if you understand what's your options, then you can move on to the next phase. The next thing you have to understand is, where am I spending money past my needs? What am I buying that is essentially, unfortunately, not essential? What am I buying too much junk? Am I going out to eat? Am I spending too much time just out enjoying things? And while I don't want to take your fun, the fact is, depending on how dire your situation is, you may need to sit down and ground yourself. That can be tough because in this very mental health awareness age, we understand the fact that not living at the highest mental capacity affects all areas of your life. And I don't want to discredit the fact that this pressure of credit and this pressure of not being able to provide can wear on you and cause stress and even eventually break down your body in health capacity. I don't really want that for you. But I also know that if you cut back and if you can find a way to where you can reframe some of the things that you enjoy and find ways to enjoy those things at a low cost, that would be very, very, build a lot more momentum to your situation. The point of all this is, maybe you can go out, but you go out for walks. Maybe you find some free activities that you can participate in around. Maybe you find a Groupon, and instead of buying something out, you just allocate just a small portion to pay for that. But the fact is, we have to stop and really go down and decrease the non-essential spending. Non-essential spending can be tablets, Apple watches, Samsung watches, anything extra besides a phone bill. Non-essential spending can be even changing your phone plan from a major carrier to a not so well-known carrier, but the bill is only $10, $20 a month. That can help you. You still get the same coverage. You still can make your calls, texts, and access the web, and even have your fancy smartphone. Whatever the case may be, but we want to get rid of the non-essential spending. The good thing about these Apple watches, the phones, and tablets, they all have value in today's marketplace. So you can either sell them on Facebook Marketplace or even try to sell them back to the retailer in order to get that money back in it. The next thing you want to do is look at how can you decrease any expense that's coming up. And the thing is, while you may not believe it, insurance rates can still go down. Are you filing your insurance online? Are you searching multiple carriers? At least 3 is what I suggest. Are you looking for ways to have meals from the grocery store like you grew up? Again, and during this time, when I have to cut down on my budget, I know I can eat the same consistent meal every day. And guess what? I won't die, but I will eat spaghetti meals, meatloaf, mashed potatoes, things that you know will get you through this time, but that cost just a small fraction of what you normally spend in a month. We're trying to find ways to meet our goals and really start to have some ingenuity about what we're doing. The fact is, you have to get real about how you're spending your money. And after I've shown you what you need, a good roof over your head, car, groceries, and clothes if yours are torn. Those are the needs you have for the month. Everything else, unfortunately, is just non-essential. And if you follow that principle, you will start to understand that things that you think are important, they may make life a little bit more comfortable, are not necessary. And when you're talking about spending, you have to get rid of the unnecessary. You have to go forward. You're doing this, again, at the same time, not instead of, but in addition to, I'm trying to increase my income. That means I'm putting out resumes every night, at least 3 quality resumes a night, but bare minimum 5 a week. Job quality means you are qualified for that job and you meet the not only bare requirements, but some of the preferences, some of the wish I could have on their list. The other thing that you want to look at is, again, the side hustle. We're in the age of contract work, from Uber to groceries, from house cleaning, dog sitting, couch renting, whatever the case may be. You will be surprised what an extra $250 to $500 will do for you in the month. And oh, by the way, $250 to $500, that's $1,000 to $2,000 extra a month just by working on weekends. I perhaps do those things through officiating, but I've done security. I've worked at the gym. I do a lot of different things. And through this, you can understand that there are more ways, and you can also add skills to your repertoire. If you're in a specialized field that requires certification, are you taking care of Google certificates? These are the things that you need to do in order to really enhance the thing that's going to make you money, your skills. You need to be seen. You need to get in front of some people. You need to talk to anybody who will listen, that will share what they're doing to make money and how they can potentially help you, and you help each other. It's funny, I found out so many different ways of how to make money, so many ingenious ways that I never would have thought by just talking to people. And you'll be surprised how many people will reach out a hand and lift you up. But these are things you have to do, because unfortunately, even though you may not agree with what's going on and the prices around, they're not changing tomorrow, unfortunately. So what we're going to do is we're going to start looking at what we can do to get ourselves ahead. Again, I want you to decrease your expenses. I mean, as far as it can go. Really look at your debt. Your debt, you have to speak to every lender, creditor that you have. Understand what their payment options are and tell them, look here, I'm trying to get out of debt. I need to know, what do you have? And if you have to call 2 or 3 times just to get through to somebody that's going to offer you some options that will help you in your situation, that's what's necessary. Student loans, you're going to not shy away from your lender. You're going to look at who's your service provider and tell them simply, hey, how can I get on an income-based payment plan to actually focus on this? But even if you don't make that payment over the next year, understand that there's a step ladder that won't punish you from your credit standpoint. These are things you need to understand, and these are things you need to do in order to move yourself forward. But the key pieces that you have to take away and act on, that you will lose sleep from, you will miss going out with friends, is you're applying for jobs and decreasing expenses. Those two work hand in hand. And when you really get the ball rolling, you will see massive change in how you can afford each month. Hi, my name is Jonathan. I want to help you where you are right now through this economic situation. It can be overwhelming. Make sure you follow me for more.